Good afternoon and welcome to the second edition of the Canarias International Athletics Meeting, coming to you from the Tenerife capital, Santa Cruz. Well, it's a wonderful afternoon here in the Canary Islands. It's 22 degrees. It's not going to get much cooler over the next couple of hours. And also, there's just the ever so slightly gentle breeze drifting southward. Perfect conditions for some outstanding athletics. We've got 12 international events on the programme coming up, including 3 hurdles races with both men and women over the 400 metres hurdles, 4 world-class field events. It's going to be a terrific 2 3/4 hours of athletics. We hope you're going to stay with us throughout all that time, because this is going to be a cracking World Athletics Continental Tour silver meeting. Well, you already know that it's on the European Athletics YouTube channel. Go to the European Athletics website. There's a link there to the live results if you miss anything or you want to catch up. As you can see there, it's a spectacular view looking out over the Atlantic. Tenerife, of course, about 100 miles off the west coast of Africa. Well, this has been Spanish territory since the late 15th century, when they came here and conquered, but now there's a vast array of international athletes coming from more than 20 nations, and we have Olympic and World Championship medalists in action here. That's the full-time table, and we're going to get underway very shortly with the women's javelin, women's 100 metres hurdles, a very classy men's long jump coming up in the early part of the programme, and we go all the way through. I'm particularly looking forward to the men's discus, the women's 400 metres hurdles, and it's one of the last events on the programme, not quite showing there, but the men's 1500 metres. It's going to be a great 2 3/4 hours. Just in case you're wondering, a sad withdrawal this morning. Mariona Garcia, who was very much the poster boy of this event, winning it last year, and the World Indoor Championships 1500 metres gold medalist from Toronto a few months ago, unfortunately pulled out just this morning with a calf injury, which is going to sideline him for the next 3 weeks. But despite the absence of Garcia, we are really looking forward to a very, very good men's 1500 metres, which could see us going well under 3:35. Here's the presentation of the women's javelin. Last year, Victoria Hudson from Austria, who went on to win the European title through 60.63. I suppose you could call that the meeting record. We've only had one previous edition, but the meeting organisers have made a big effort to bring world-class athletics to Tenerife. And you can see there, well, there's a very good audience in the main stand in the Santa Cruz Stadium. Also quite a lot of the athletes, if you see during the course of the programme, young athletes with numbers on, just as you did there. Well, there's a whole programme of underage races, under 8s, under 15 races, and so on. So we start with the lineup, wearing the famous police club kit of the Carabinieri, Paola Padovan, former Italian national champion.
59-59 en el lanzamiento de jabalina desde Australia.
Coming all the way from Australia, Mackenzie Michizara.
Sabe lo que es ser campeona nacional.
Spanish-based Colombian, resident in Orense, up in the north. Magali Jimenez. Alice Minard, 60-metre thrower at best.
4 veces campeona nacional.
From France.
Defensora del título también y ha sido medallista continental en
Kelly Tugi of Estonia. Over the years, we've seen a lot of her on European Athletics live streams. Under 20 and under 23 European Athletics Championship medalist, and the best woman in the field, Petra Sikakova, who herself took a European under 23 silver medal last year in Bergen.
Pues primera prueba presentada a Tenerife. Ahí tenemos a las lanzadoras ya a punto de entrar en la jaula de lanzamientos.
Rapt attention.
100 metros vallas.
Yes. Almost everybody wearing sunglasses, not surprisingly. It's Well, it's not quite as warm as certain parts of Europe. Anybody who was watching the European Champions Clubs Cup from Castellón at the weekend, which was also on the European Athletics YouTube channel, and you can go back and watch it if you missed it, because it's still there and it's going to stay there. Well, it was about 27, 28 degrees last Saturday or Sunday, a bit further up to the north of Spain on the Mediterranean coast. We also have the women's 100 metres hurdles going to get underway very quickly. That's going to be the first track action. Looking there at Elena Carrera. Italian. Best of 12.84, and she was running well recently. Got close to that in Savona just 1 week ago, 12.94. So on the outside, we have Lucia Morera, on the local Canarias club athlete. Good hurdler though, 13.38, her personal best, and she was 7th in this event last year.
Además, corriendo en casa, Lucía Morera. Por la calle 2, ya sabe lo que es competir aquí. Quinta en el ranking español de 2026, Carmen Sánchez.
Carmen Sánchez finished 6th last year. Personal best of 13.28.
Por la calle 3. Desde Gran Bretaña viene de hacer la mejor marca personal en Florida hace pocos días, Emma Newford.
The World Indoor Championships in Toronto didn't get out of a heat.
Campeona nacional de 100 metros vallas, fue subcampeona de Europa sub-23 en el año 23, la italiana Elena Carraro.
Changed around this start list a little bit. Elena Carrero.
Doble campeona nacional de 60 metros vallas, bronce mundial de 60 metros vallas en el 22 y fue séptima en los Juegos de Tokio.
Cunningham, the fastest woman in this field at 12.53. World Indoor Championships bronze medalist back in 2022.
Nacional con
12.69
de 100 metros vallas.
St. Lucia, national record holder at 12.69.
Asia Laurensin.
Last month in Gainesville.
Por la calle 7, vigente campeona nacional de Suiza, Selina von Hakowicz.
Selina von Schofsky.
Y por la calle
12.94 last year and the reigning Swiss champion. On the outside in lane 8.
De clubes con el Valencia Club de Atletismo en Castellón, Paula Blanquer.
Fifth in the European under 23s. Back in 23, Paula Blanquer. She was in action at those European Champions Clubs Cup competition that I mentioned last weekend, when it was Valencia who triumphed in the women's competition, regaining a title that they'd won back in 2014 and 2015. So as they settled down from the inside, Morera, Sanchez, Norfor,
Atención Tenerife,
Carrera, Cunningham, Laurensin, Bonchkovsky and Blanca. 8 women in the very first track event here in Tenerife.
Set.
And it's Carrera who's got the best start, but she's struggling a bit over the 3rd and 4th hurdles. Now coming through, Laurensin, the St. Lucian, flying away. You said she was in good form. Carrera's recovered though. Laurensin looks as though she was just beaten out by the Italian on the line. I think it might have been Cunningham who got 2nd place. Look at that race. Well, it's giving it to Norfor. A little bit surprised about that, but let's have a look at that race again. It's close. Britain, member of the Newnham and Essex Beagles Club, studied at Arkansas State University and formerly a heptathlete, although she's now focusing very much on the hurdles. Good start by Norfor at this stage. So too Lawrence.
Y tenemos además
We'll take it as read that she did get the verdict.
congratulations.
The weather's been great and the people have been amazing, so I'm just so happy with that run.
You just made your personal best a few, not today, a few days ago in Florida. Great season for you.
Yeah, it's been a really good season. I had a change of setup last year, so this year I'm just building and building, and I'm just so grateful.
Congratulations.
Gracias.
Aplauso fuerte para la vencedora de estos 100 metros.
Well confirmed.
Decía que ha cambiado unas
Noah 4
cosas.
came through to win in 12.96, just outside the personal best you heard her talking about. Lawrenson crashed into the 9th hurdle, and Cunningham came through to take second in 13 seconds exactly. Cunningham coming back at a difficult year last year with injuries, not quite in the same shape that she was in back in 2021, 2022. Cunningham finishing 7th in the Olympic Games in Tokyo, those delayed Olympic Games, but slowly coming back to form. But the plaudits go to the Briton, Emma Noel-4. We're going to see a few of those championship records, I think, as this is only the second edition, but it is an improvement on the time that we had last year from Destiny Haven.
Prueba de 100 metros vallas, categoría femenina con la victoria de la británica Emma Newford con 12.96 finalmente.
No personal best there, but a nice following win. That could be very, very advantageous further down the line. Lots of children eager to get Emma Noir-4's signature. Maybe it'll encourage them to be part of this wonderful sport at some point in the future. So, Sikakova, we've quickly gone through the first round in the javelin while we were watching the 100 meters hurdles.
Primer intento para Petra Sichakova. Va a estrenarse.
Minard, who leads with 55.53 at the moment. Sikakova won't take the lead. Drops down to about 50 meters. Disappointed with her opening effort. We need to interpret the body language. It's pretty clear that she wasn't happy about that throw. Very high angle of release. 50.69. Already had 3 competitions so far this year. Best so far this year, 56.45. We start the second round with Paola Padovan. And that's around the 50-meter mark as well. Padovan opened with 48.52. I think that's a bit better. Former Italian champion, although she has continued to represent Italy at events like last year's European Team Championships. Quickest of throwers on the run-up. She does have a long pull on it. Good technique. It's 51.39. I'm looking at my monitor for Padovan. Now, Elclair opened with 51.38. Not sure that was as far, and indeed it's come up very quickly. 48.69. 5.23 you can see in the graphics, in the lower right-hand corner.
En este Canarias Athletics Invitational.
On to Gisette Magali Jimenez. Oh, that's nicely over 55 meters.
Más allá de los 55 metros.
That might just be good enough for her to take the lead.
55-20 para ella. Una atleta que tiene 59.80 como marca.
Based in Spain, competes for the Orense club up in the north of Spain. Announcing on home soil a couple of weeks ago when she threw 59.35 in Colombia.
En la pantalla gigante vamos a ir viendo durante toda la tarde esas repeticiones de lanzamientos, de saltos, de llegadas a meta, los momentos más interesantes de este
Bronze medal, the best international performance. 2022 South American Under-23 Championships.
Lo que pueden estar viendo en cualquier lugar del mundo a través del streaming de esta prueba con la televisión canaria. Absolutamente todo ese trabajazo de compañeros
55-20.
que han hecho posible que esto pueda
Estonian Gedli Tugli.
Así que no os perdáis esas mejores imágenes y los resultados para vosotros
4 years of age.
en las pantallas gigantes. Turno para Gedli Tugli.
The European Under-20 bronze back in 2019. And improved to the silver at the Under-23 Championships in 2023. And that's a great throw. That's gone into the lead without a doubt. That's over 56 meters.
Interesante para una atleta que ha lanzado 60-65, tiene como marca personal
56-53.
Este es su segundo.
Big shout out to the local organisers. They're getting on and getting the measurements done very quickly, and it's coming through almost as quick as those women competed the 100 metres hurdles. It's very swift indeed. Certainly a big help to commentators. So Tugli moves into the lead. Got the presentation coming up of the men's long jump. 7 men in this contest. Got onto the third round. Sikakova fouled her second attempt. Doesn't look happy with that. No, just down. She's done the usual thing. Oh no, she's going to get it measured. I thought once she'd seen where that came down, she might just step over the line. She's very much de rigueur with javelin throws once they see a poor effort land. She's probably at about 45 meters. See it come up on the screen, but doing you a bit of a disservice. I'm seeing it registered at 50.06, which is still in fourth place. That second round, 51.39. Now Mackenzie Charazek. The final of the 2022 World Juniors. Hasn't got over 60 meters yet. Best of 59 came in Germany 3 years ago, and she was still a teenager. That's close to 55 meters.
Y con este salto ha arrancado la longitud masculina.
Men's long jump is going to get underway as well.
Compitiendo en casa. 7:05 para el atleta de Tenerife, Canarias.
Wait for Andres Romero, who's actually got his full Spanish name, Villanueva, on his chest. Switch over to the women's javelin. So Alice Menard, I've seen that land. Just walked out. She's in second place with 55-53 at the moment. Now 3 times French champion. Tugli. 4 times Estonian champion.
Miguel Santoluro, la atleta del campo de salud 71 de Prado.
5 metres, so no improvement for Tugli. The first man to jump in the long jump, Javier Perez, local athlete. Perez was 7:05, I can tell you, for those of you following Spain and English. Speakers in the Canary Islands, we know that. Foul for Romero Villanueva. Now, Hector Delgado. 20 years of age, Delgado, one of the up-and-coming talents in Spanish long jumping. Personal best from last year of 7:52. Foul as well.
Y ahora es turno en el pasillo de longitud para el francés, doble campeón mundial en sub-20, campeón de Europa sub-23 y con una marca personal de 8:25, Erwan Konate.
So next up, Erwan Konate. And this man, 8:25 when winning the European Under-23 title last year. Moved him up to 7th on the all-time list for France. I'll tell you what, he's one of 2 Frenchmen now that are bearing down on a long-standing French record. Simon Sederi's national record of 8:42 has stood since 2009. There's Tonkin Payne as well, but Erwan Konate, well, over the years he's been so successful. Back in 2021, won both European and World Under-20 titles. So that's Phil Sherek.
Now.
got a bit of discussion with Padovan. Some concern about the order. I was a little bit confused as well. It'll all get sorted out.
Ahora sí, turno para el francés Erwan Konate.
Padovan
En el salto de longitud.
had a fourth round 52.69. Sikarkova also 54.90. So Konate finally on the run up. Not sure, was that a foul as well? Looks as though it might just have been over the board. Just by a toe. Again. Konate very quick on the run up. Great leverage. Doesn't get the massive height that some other jumpers do. Manages to turn horizontal speed into propulsion and flying through the air.
Y ha representado a España en 2 campeonatos del mundo y 2 campeonatos de Europa, siendo quinto el año pasado en Appleton.
Well, looking at it, oh no, it is given as a foul.
Jaime Guerra.
Now, Jaime Guerra, 8.17 last year. That looks like a solid jump off the board, and that looks like an excellent jump to get things underway for Guerra, and he's happy.
Para el atleta barcelonés de el Canarias Athletics. Vamos a ver la medición.
Oh, good technique there from Guerra.
Pues el primero por encima de los 8 metros.
Oh,
8-0.
if you speak Spanish, you'll know he's the first man in this competition to go over 8 meters.
Esta es su carta de
Just waiting for
presentación.
confirmation of the distance. 8.05. Well, surpasses the winning leap of last year. But the man who's going to come next, Piotr Tarkovsky, who jumped 7.98 last year.
Además, os voy a pedir otro aplauso fuerte para Jaime Guerra porque este 8
Yes, indeed.
es nuevo récord del campeonato.
Infield announcers saying plenty of applause for Jaime Guerra, but it's now the man who won here last year, Piotr Tarkovsky. He's going to need to get a personal best if he's going to get back the lead. Oh, chopping his stride badly. Not sure that wasn't a foul.
Piotr Tarkovsky, 5 veces campeón nacional.
5 times Polish champion.
Pues ya tenemos Tenerife, el primer récord de los
Best of
campeonatos.
8:03.
Y tengo una buena noticia. Solo son las 5:30 de la tarde. Nos queda mucho por delante.
I know it was solid on the board. There was probably about 3 centimetres to spare. He's got low arm cadence. This is a hitch kick, 7.92. That's a season's best for Tarkovsky. Jumped 7.83 to win his university championships at the weekend on Saturday.
Pasillo de longitud.
Now, the veteran, 35 years of age, Eusebio Cáceres.
Bueno, a ver, el primer salto es nulo.
Cáceres turned back the clock when he jumped.
Para Eusebio Cáceres, historia viva de nuestro
8:17
atletismo.
indoors.
Un año más aquí. No se quiere perder
The
este
World
Canarias
Indoor
Athletics
Championships, his first
Invitational.
World Indoors
La pantalla gigante, la
in
repetición.
8 years. It's rather well over the board though.
El salto ha sido nulo para alguien, como digo, que
A
es
good 10
historia
centimetres, I
viva
think.
de nuestro
He's one of the
atletismo.
real characters of Spanish athletics, icons you might say. 8.37 puts him equal second on the Spanish all-time list. That jump Coming back in 2015. He was only 5th last year. Now we go back to the start again with Javier Perez. Perez, 7:05 in the first round. Short of his personal best of 7:41. Perez now 38 years of age, even older than Eusebio Cáceres. Solid clubman. As a hurdler back about 20 years ago. These days, though, more of a long jumper.
6.98 y es turno para Andrés Romero.
So got some quality decathlon figures to his name, 7,400 points. Sprinter jumper at 6.98 for Perez. Still going strong.
Y aprovecho este momento también para contaros otra cosa. Hablaba del récord de los campeonatos en la longitud, pero antes hemos tenido otro, el de
Jiménez.
también ha sido
Also 55 meters.
12.96. Así que enhorabuena para la británica, 2 récords de los campeonatos.
Also best mark. She had 55.20
Y viento
in the 4th round now in the women's javelin as we watch. Just as we watch Romero Villanueva foul. Well, I didn't see the figures coming up for Jimenez, but it is 56.58, and that does move her into first place. Minard, early leader in the first round. Oh, that's a good throw from Minard. 57.84. That moves her back into first place. Entertaining competition this, even if the distances aren't great. Nobody over 60 meters yet, which we did have last year. But the lead is chopping and changing almost with every other throw. 57.84 for Minard. He was 6th in last year's European Team Championships in Madrid. So Hector Delgado.
$7.47 para él.
Young man, just 19 years of age.
Acercándose a su mejor
Will be
marca
targeting
personal.
next year's European Under-23 Championships in Big Gosh. And of course, they will be brought to you on the European Athletics YouTube channel.
En la jabalina, por cierto, están ya las lanzadoras en el quinto intento.
Personal
La
best
quinta
came
ronda.
here 2 years ago when he was just 17. 7:52. Delgado's now Konate.
Segundo intento para Erwan Konate.
Good first
La
attempt.
longitud.
Good distance, but it was ruled a foul. I imagine he's just made a slight adjustment to his runner. Oh, that's close to 8 meters. Probably doesn't overtake Jaime Guerra. Nevertheless, good effort. It's all surprised if that's in the 785, 790 region. Sikakova, sort of chopping and changing quickly between the javelin and the women and the men's long jump, I should say.
7.90 para el saltador francés, que se coloca tercero, precisamente detrás de este hombre.
52.07 for Sikakova. She's not really firing on all cylinders. last year's European Under-23 silver medalist.
Ya ha batido el récord del meeting.
Michal Chirek. Best so far of 54.92, but that's an improvement. That's about 55.5, maybe even a bit better towards the 56-meter line.
Pues pide palmas. Palmas para Carlos
Guerra, 8.05 in the first round. He'll be inspired. Season's best. And once again, that is an outstanding jump from Guerra. Big smiles. Final of the last World Championships last September in Tokyo.
sigue líder con 8.05.
He had a very, very good couple of years, Guerra.
Y atención en la jabalina que
Picked up the last
Giselle
European indoors. 782, not a good solid jump for Jaime Guerra. Well, European long jumping is such repeat with such talent at the moment. Matteo Filani, Miltiades Tentoglu, and there's plenty of others. We have a feeling that on his day, and he would really need to be inspired, Jaime Guerra could get in amongst them.
Y pide palmas Tenerife. El saltador polaco pide palmas.
Peter Tuchowski.
7.92 en el primer intento. Es segundo.
Last year, from 7.98 in the last round to leap up from 5th place to 1st. That's another decent jump.
Va a ser válido. Y atención al lanzamiento de Gerli Tagi, la Estonia, 58.23. Pues se va a colocar
So
en la
Jimenez,
posición de la jabalina. 7.74 para Tarkovsky, no mejora en su primer intento.
moved up to first briefly,
Y en la
all of
longitud,
one jump. Jimenez, before she was overtaken by this woman.
es turno para una atleta que ha sido
We're in the 5th round now.
14 veces campeona.
Oh, that's a superb effort from Minard. That may well have even extended her lead. That's 57.94 for
Lanzamiento válido para Padovan,
Minard.
55.47 para ella. Se despide. Aplauso fuerte para
I
ella.
tell you, we didn't see the numbers, but in fact, the preceding effort from Jimenez was even further, 58.42. So we're gradually, I'm not sure, inching our way towards the 60-meter line as appropriately. Centimetering our way towards it. We're getting closer to that 60-meter line. Now, Xavier Cáceres. International standard sprinter as well, and you can just see how quick he is on the run-up. The early part of his career was part of Spanish 4x100 meter relay teams. I'm not sure we're going to see Italy Tugi's throw, but I can tell you we're now starting the 6th round. Tugi, as you can see there, very close to Jimenez's mark with 58.23.
Y empezamos la tercera ronda de saltos con Javier Pérez de nuevo. Ahí tenemos a la atleta de Tenerife, Caja Canarias.
Top 3, Jaime Guerra.
La jabalina.
2 rounds over 8 meters with 8:05. Kowski,
La australiana
7:92. Good effort from the pole.
es cuarta.
Only 11 centimeters shy of his best. And these are great conditions for good long jumping.
Salto va a ser válido.
Complete
Es
from the hurdler.
7:05.
Doesn't look very happy with that. Just as a reminder, I mentioned it a short while ago. Live results are linked to on the European Athletics homepage. Scroll down,
Andrés
look
Romero.
for upcoming events, and there's a link there. Tells you all about the other forthcoming live streams of European Athletics one-day meetings in the Silver, Bronze and Challenger World Athletics Tour categories. She just has to hold on for a moment, but Mackenzie Mialchurek just waiting to
Y
take her
pide
6th round.
palmas, pide palmas.
Pro.
Andrés Romero.
Down in 4th place at the moment. Needs to improve by 2.5 meters to move up into 3rd. Was that a foul? I think it might be.
Va a ser válido.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to tell. Mara Villanueva. They've just seen themselves on the big screen. And if it wasn't a foul, it would really tighten the board. No, finally gets a legal jump in, but really it could barely be any closer to being a foul. 7:04.
Turno en el pasillo.
Now Hector Delgado.
Para Héctor Delgado. Es cuarto con 7:47.
Delgado, 7:47, very close to his personal best of 7:52. You can see from his navy blue strip and Canarias on his chest, member of the local club.
Desde el pasillo de longitud. Alguien que compite
Didn't
en
go to the
casa.
European under-20s last year. Close to qualifying. Oh, that looks like a good jump now. Was it a valid one?
Duro. Bandera roja arriba. Apurando al máximo ese
Just looking at the
salto de Héctor
scoreboard that he's walking past. Oh no, just by a centimetre or so.
Ahora sí va la
Now
jabalina.
finally, Mackenzie Correct. The Australian unleashes her last effort. Short of 55 metres, so no improvement for Mialchurek.
Aplauso fuerte para Mackenzie Mialchurek, que se despide.
Not going to be an improvement on a 55-54 of the 5th round. 54-13 to complete her series.
Y en la jabalina va a ser turno para la colombiana Yeset Magali Jiménez, que es líder con 58-42.
She's been doing the rounds of second-tier European meetings.
Palmas en la longitud y en la jabalina.
Competed in the last couple of weeks in Germany and
Francesa colombiana.
Switzerland.
Que se escuche Tenerife.
Rounded a trip to Tenerife. Now, Irving Konate, 790 with his previous jump. He is capable of going well beyond 8 meters. I think that was another foul. Yes. And he knows it, but it's getting there. He's in 3rd place at the moment with that 790. He's produced a couple of big fouls. Really going for it. Not massive height. Very, very effective in terms of distance. Now, Jimenez. I can tell you, Jimenez is just overtaken by Alice Minard, 59.72. That's short. Here's a replay. Here's Minard from a few minutes ago. Well, it looks fairly languid style, but it's good. It's close to 60 meters. Minard, 59.72. I'm just wondering whether that's going to hold up and be the winning effort. Whoa! And another great effort from Jaime Guerra. I'm just wondering whether that's his own little supporters club.
58-54 para Tagui, no le va a quitar el triunfo, con lo cual victoria
from Barcelona.
Seminar en la Cabalina y 7.90 para Guerra en el foso de longitud. Bueno, vaya concurso lleva el saltador barcelonés.
.790. It's a great series from Guerra. 8:05, 7:82, 7:90. Tarkovsky. Not a bad series either from him. 7:92, 7:74.
Ahí está el salto de Tarkovsky. Tercer intento para él. Que por cierto, por daros un dato, Tarkovsky era quien tenía el récord del meeting
3 times in his life.
Jaime Guerra le quitase ese récord
in
hace unos
2022
minutos.
and last year in the very helpful environment of Madrid.
Recuperar
It's around
ese récord
650
debería
meters
ser
altitude.
marca personal. 7.81 en este salto para el polaco.
7:81.
Es segundo en esta competición.
Don't be displeased with that series, though. It's consistent, and it's consistent at a high level. At the moment, though, he's still 13 centimeters behind Jaime Guerra.
Y en el pasillo de longitud se vuelve a preparar el saltamontes de O'Neill.
Stadium announcer calling Eusebio Cáceres the grasshopper. Oh. Whoa! Now, was that legal? Because that was a big jump. I suspect, given the way he's not celebrating, it might have got a red flag. Yes. What a pity. But it was an absolutely massive jump.
El salto del atleta del Centre Esportiu Colibeng.
Rueful look on Cáceres' face. Well, what do you think? 4 centimeters over the board. Full of time it was plasticine. Now they use the Hawkeye measuring system. Probably about an 8:20 jump. Best form for several years. Indoor jump of 8:17, best jump for 8 years. In case you're wondering, the next track action comes up at the top of the hour. That's 6 o'clock Western European time, GMT plus 1 hour. That's the men's 100 metres. And the women's 800 metres is at 6:30 local time in Tenerife in the Canary Islands, and also in Great Britain, Ireland and Portugal. 1 hour ahead of Central European time. And the rest of Spain, outside of the Canary Islands. There's Assia Lorentzen, the hurdler. 1 degree from the hurdles. It's certainly a big attraction as far as the young athletics fans in Santa Cruz are concerned. We're at the halfway point in the men's long jump. And Aguilera leads the way with that opener of 8:05. There's the women's javelin throw, final results. No one over 60 metres. So Tori Hudson's 60-63 mark from last year stays as the meeting record. Elise Minard wins 59.72. 58.4, just 2 centimetres ahead against Jimenez. Crawling an interesting competition, as I said, not necessarily the longest of distances, but the lead changed hands so many times. This meeting finishes nice and early, probably just before about 8 o'clock. Everything runs to time, and plenty of time then to perhaps even go for a swim in the ocean. This weekend, several meetings being shown on the European Athletics YouTube channel, and then further down the line, 2 events to look out for. The European Athletics Under-18 Championships coming to you from Rieti between the 16th and 19th of July, and then premier event in the European Athletics portfolio, European Athletics Championships between the 10th and the 16th. We expect this man to be competing there in Birmingham in roughly time. Fabio Cáceres, great competitive record. Cáceres, he was 4th at the Olympic Games in 2021, 4th at the World Championships back in 2013. He was the European Under-23 champion 13 years ago, back in 2013 as well. So less than 14 national titles, struggling just a little bit to nail his technique. Another foul for Cáceres, and this is Villanueva. He's got Villanueva on his bib. He's on the start list as Romero. We know who he is. That's a foul. In case you're wondering, Spain has the tradition of giving two family names, both the father and the mother. So Villanueva, that's one valid jump. He's the previous one at 7:04. Tradition of having two family names, though, occasionally, not always, but occasionally causes a little bit of confusion. Sometimes, like with the man you've just seen, you see one name on a bib and another name on the results and start list. Javier Perez.
Javier Pérez en el pasillo de longitud.
1 centimetre in front of his compatriot, Ramiro Villanueva. Foul again, not quite sure.
El salto es válido, es quinto con 7.05.
Right by that blue band, which signifies the foul zone, if you like. So as far as that's concerned, absolutely spot on. And the 7 metre mark. Looking at my monitor, and it's 7:01, so no improvement for Perez. So after a brief hiatus, we move down to the track, and it's the men's 100 metres.
Por la calle 1, corriendo en
One of
casa
the
con una
Canarias athletes, local athletes being given a chance to duel with top internationals. Jorge Santana, 21 years of age.
Por la calle
Windy
2,
10:55
una mejor
to
marca
his
de
name.
10-14,
Kobe
el
Hilton.
estadounidense Kobe Hilton.
Well, first outdoor race of 2026.
Integrante del bronce
25 World
mundial de
Indoor
4x100
Championship
en
semi-final.
Tokio y subcampeones de Europa de 4x100
Elvis
en Roma.
Afrifa.
Desde Países Bajos, Elvis
Well, he's
Afrifa.
got European Championship silver medal in the 4x100 metres relay to his name.
Nacional colombiano. En la calle 4, Ronald Longa.
Fastest man in the field, Ronald Longa from Colombia. 996.
Dos medallas en campeonatos de Europa,
Former
dos
South
medallas
American
en campeonatos del mundo
under-23
y
silver
bronce
medalist.
mundial al aire libre en el
Simon
4x100.
Burnett.
Aparte de ser
been in
plusmarquista
the
nacional de Países Bajos,
Dutch relay
David
teams with
Burnett.
Afrifa on many occasions, now 26 years of age. National record holder at 60 metres
Plusmarquista
at
nacional de
6:51.
60 metros lisos desde Cuba,
Jens
Jens
Fernández.
Fernández.
24 years of age,
El
25 years of
campeón de
age.
España de 100
10,
metros
11
lisos y
came
60 metros
back in
lisos, sexto en los
2024.
100 del Campeonato de Europa de Roma. Y una de
Barcelona
nuestras
athlete,
referencias del
Guillem
hectómetro.
Crespi.
Guillem
National Under
Crespi.
23 record holder at 10:18.
Y también corriendo en casa con 10.57 como marca
outside, another
personal.
Canarias
Eliani
athlete.
Dorta Bonilla.
Elenai Daughter Bonilla, 10:57 man. Hector Delgado.
Pues ahí teníamos el salto de Héctor Delgado, pero ahora Tenerife, por favor, silencio en la pista. Atención.
Longer
a la
in good
salida.
form. 998 wind assisted in the Savona meeting in Italy last Wednesday. He's 996 also coming in Savona last year. Burnett fourth in Savona behind Longa, and Fernandez fifth. I think they may be the three men to look out for in lanes 4, 5 and 6. From the inside, Santana, Hilton, Afrifa, Longa, Burnett, Fernandez, Crespi and Bonilla.
Set.
Well, it is Longa who now gets into his stride. He took his time getting into the race, but from 50 metres he's been unstoppable.
Pues la victoria para
Tamar Burnett looks as though he got through for second place. No doubt at all over the second half of the race. Who was the winner there? Colombian. Good run from Longa. 10:20. Not hoping it might be a bit quicker. Maybe the wind is swirling around a little bit. Again. Longa sort of stumbled out of his blocks, and at this point the two men either side of him, the two Dutchmen, a free for Burnett, were challenging, and a free starts to drift back in the second half of the race. Burnett coming through for second from 50 metres. Longa goes through the gears. Wonderful sprinting style from the Colombian. Big smiles all round, and we'll see several of these men in the 200 metres a little bit later on. Curious as to what the wind reading is. So with these conditions, I was expecting them to perhaps go a little bit quicker.
Bueno, pues Tenerife tenemos al
It's a bit closer to
ganador.
the 10-second barrier, which is really the threshold for world-class sprinting over 100 metres.
Enhorabuena, la afición ha estado ahí animando.
y una competición
Back at
en
the
la que
long
te has llevado
jump
el
now.
triunfo ante rivales de mucho nivel.
Exacto. Primero que todo, gracias por haberme invitado a esa gran competencia. Mis compañeros lo hacían muy bien. Corrí con algunos en Saona y fue excelente. La pista estuvo muy rápida. Espero volver a correr el próximo año. Así que vamos a dar.
Pues de momento
As we
esto
look
es
at,
el récord de los
Peter
del
Tochovsky,
Meeting de Texas, porque
hearing
no
in the
había habido
background
otro 100, pero te emplazamos al año que viene si
Ronald
quieres venir a rebajarlo todavía más.
Exacto,
Delgado,
el próximo año y
19-year-old, improved to a personal best of 7:56 in the fourth round. Konate
Pues
fouling
y a
once
ver si
again.
el año que viene
And that's another
hacemos el
foul.
9.
muchas gracias,
This
muchas
time
gracias a
going
todos. Gracias
down
por el
on the
apoyo
sheet
y espero
for
verlo el próximo año. ¿ok?
Peter Tochovsky.
Aplauso fuerte para el
Very much as you
vencedor,
were.
Ronald Longa, que ya nos ha dejado el titular.
Jaime
El
Guerra
año que viene
leading the way, and he'll be the next to jump with his fourth round jump. 8:05 to his name. And a good series, 7:82 and 7:90 following that 8:05 opener.
Atención de nuevo Tenerife, volvemos a girarnos
We're
al
going to be
pasillo
staying with the
porque
long jump.
llega el turno
Well,
de
it was indeed
Guerra.
a breeze into their face, minus 1.1 metres per second.
Es
Longa
líder con
winning
8 metros
a
y
full
5
tenth of a second.
segundos.
10:20 from Tamar Burnett.
Récord del leading.
10:30. And his Dutch teammate Elvis Afrifa taking third with 10:34. Jaime Guerra now in the long jump. Oh, excellent effort from Guerra. Once again, doesn't look too excited by it. Well, that red flag flapping in the background, I wonder if it was just waved by the judge. A little bit difficult when it's really tight on the board, like where it was. What do you think? I think I'd have to give that as a foul. Sorry, Jaime, but they are debating it, and it's not my decision to make. I wonder if they're going to take a vote on it. Well, I think by a few millimetres that may be judged as a foul. But nevertheless, it was an excellent jump. Another. Jaime Guerra still leading the way with after 4 rounds. Whether that's an improvement or considered a foul, we'll find out very shortly. Just looking at that replay. Good use of the drone there, I like that.
Pues ha estado justo, pero bandera roja arriba, el salto de
It's a
guerra.
bit of a surprise. We didn't see more from Fernandez there.
Ganando la prueba en cualquier caso.
It has been given, I confirm, as a foul as we go back to the start of the order with Xavier Cáceres. Cáceres, 6:50 in the second round, 3 fouls otherwise. That was spot on the board, and that's a good effort. He doesn't like it though. I'm wondering whether my eyes were deceiving me. Well, that's another foul for Cáceres. But once again, not by much. Probably a couple of millimetres more than the one just a moment ago that saw Guerra given the red flag. Otherwise, it would have been a jump close to 8 metres. There's not much in it. He's had a couple of big fouls. You have to feel for him. But he does have one more attempt remaining. He was only 5th last year, and then he had a few issues with fouls. Romero Villanueva. Bet he wouldn't have been expecting to be in front of Eusebio Cáceres at this point in the competition.
Otra prueba que promete muchísimo nivel.
No problem about getting a white flag from the judges for Romero Villanueva with that effort. But it's not going to be an improvement. It's probably around the 7 metre mark. See on the monitor 692, just to keep you up to date with everything. As I say, we've got live results on the European Athletics website. You have to scroll down quite a long way, but they are there, I can assure you, under the upcoming events. Now, Javier Perez, 7:05, 5th place, 1 centimetre in front of Romero Villanueva.
Pide palmas de su gente, Javier Pérez.
Chopped and chopped and chopped.
Bandera blanca arriba, vamos a ver la medición.
His experience will tell him that wasn't a good jump. Wasn't the smoothest of run-ups. He had to chop rather dramatically to get on the board. Starts chopping about 3 strides out. I don't think it got over 7 metres. No, I was wrong. It was 7:05, equaling his best jump from the first round.
Será turno para el cuarto clasificado en la provisional, Héctor Delgado.
Quite a gap to the top 4, with Hector Delgado having jumped a personal best of 7:56 in the last round. Nice jump from the teenager. What can he do with this jump? Oh, looks as though Delgado... Ah, here we go. Got the right man. There's Delgado. I was wondering whether Delgado for a moment had passed. No. giving it everything. Oh, that's a good jump. That's around the 760 mark again, and he gets a white flag. That is really, I think it's fair to say, in the form of his life. One personal best already. He's added 14 centimetres to his best already. And judging from the reaction of the crowd, I think that might be another personal best. 768. 4 centimetres improvement. Answers it wrong with his 4th round effort. And now he's gone another 12 centimetres further. So 2 personal bests for Delgado. Now, Konate, one valid jump came in the second round, 790. He's had a couple of big fouls. So quick on the board. Well, that won't take the lead, but he finally gets another white flag. Probably around the 790 mark. World Under-20 champion in 2021 and 2022. European Under-23 champion last year in Bergen in Norway. Another man who will be looking forward to those European Championships in Birmingham in August. And you'll be able to see every minute of those championships on the European Athletics digital channels. 771 for Konate. One more jump to come for the Frenchman. Now the top 2, starting with Peter Tokowski, last year's winner. Series 792, 774, 781. He's in shape. Oh, chopping quite dramatically. I think that might have had an impact on the distance. Sometimes jumpers. And that's certainly been an issue for Eusebio Cáceres. One valid jump, 650, for the former European Under-23 champion. And he's got so close to the podium on so many occasions at major championships. One title remaining is European Under-23 gold medal. We won't want to be languishing down in 7th place when the results are finally tallied up. Oh, well, look at that. That's a massive effort at around 8:30, but it does get the red flag.
Pero que se escuche Tenerife. Un aplauso enorme para
650 with his only valid jump.
alguien que es parte de la historia
But it is there.
atletismo con mayúsculas,
About-
Eusebio Cáceres.
Yeah. 12 centimetres. Javier Pérez.
Palmas de nuevo en el pasillo de longitud. Javier Pérez, último intento para él.
Good crowd in the Santa Cruz Stadium. Enjoying what they're seeing here at this World Athletics Continental Tour Silver Meeting. And there's plenty more to come. Go all the way through for about another hour and a half until we get to the end of the programme at 17:40 local time. 17:40, 7:40 p.m. 19:40 24-hour clock with the men's 1500 metres. $7:11, it's an improvement. Javier Pérez finishes with a flourish. Doesn't improve his position, stays in 5th place. I'm not quite sure what that red flag was raised. Oh, it's been changed. It was measured, and well, it was a measurement given at 7:11, and then it's suddenly getting a red flag this bit late in the day. But it's still in 5th place. Javier Pérez. Now Hector Delgado.
Llega de nuevo el turno para Héctor Delgado.
Personal best of 7:56 in the 4th round, and improved to 7:68 in the last round.
Y cuando termine de
Can he make it 3 in a row as far as personal bests are concerned?
que se escuche Tenerife.
Good effort, but I think it might have been a foul, a red flag, yes. You can almost tell from his
Vamos a ver ese
body
salto.
language. He'd have been dancing around if that had been a legal jump, I think. I think he knew that it was a foul. Just waiting for confirmation. It's been one of those nights when we've just been, as I said a moment ago,
El salto es nulo.
so many very close fouls, but that was another one by just a few
Y os voy a
millimetres.
contar una cosa, os voy a
I
contar
must say, I judged it as a foul, not by seeing the red flag, which we can now see,
No te muevas de ahí,
but by
porque voy a
Delgado's
pedir algo
reaction.
de esta gente
You just know when you're out there. And he knew, I think, in his heart that that was a foul. Worth double checking. But he finishes with 2 personal bests on the night. 19-year-old Hector Delgado. I'm sure it's not going to be his last personal best of the summer either. Irving Konaté from the Amiens club. Well, a few of the French athletes have all come from the same club, from Amiens. One of the powerhouses in French athletics. Well, local athlete and a very popular athlete as well. Leading the rhythmic clapping for this man, Irving Konaté. Trying to chop his stride again. No. Once again, he's enjoyed his time here, that's for sure. Only got 2 valid jumps in, the best one being 790 in the second round, and there's replay. As I said, before we'd even seen the replay of the foul, just the way he was reacting, he knew he'd fouled. Big broad smile from Konaté. As I say, if you can get it right, like the 2 men who've still got to jump, you could certainly get in the mix for the medals when we get to Birmingham in August. As I say, you're looking at Fulani, Balthazar Sarabulyakov, the Bulgarian, and of course Alexiadis Tentoglu. These men are not that far away. So you'll have to hit the board properly. That's another foul. That was one of the quicker ones to be able to assess. No need to look at the monitor. Well, Guerra passed his last effort. Just wondering whether he's going to take his last jump. Well, just looking down at the long jump run-up. Yes, he is. A couple of other good jumps. Opened with that 8.05. Season's best for him. Better than he did indoors, when he went over 8 meters indoors as well. 782, 790 with his second and third round jumps. Only man over 8 meters. The last man in this competition, no, bails out, but he takes the win. Jaime Guerra finishes with a foul, but he'll be top of the long jump results with 8.05 his opening jump. Indeed, it is a meeting record, improves on the night. 792 from the man who finished second, Peter Tarkowski, who won last year. So with perfect timing, the men's long jump finishes, and we move back to the track and the women's 800 meters.
Estamos viendo en la pantalla gigante lo que va a ser la lista de salida
Line
de
up
los
there.
200 femenino que estamos a
Fastest woman in the
punto
field,
de
Anita
presentar.
Horvat, 1:58.73. Horvat, European Indoor Championships silver medalist in 23 and
Al anillo de
third
nuevo.
last year in Apeldoorn. On the outside, it's Barbara Camblor,
la que va a ejercer de
who
liebre.
will do the honours as the
Experta en
pacemaker.
400 metros, pero hoy va
I
a
haven't
hacer
got pace information, but I think she'll probably be aiming for
Aplauso
60
fuerte para Bárbara
seconds.
Camblor por la calle 8.
1:58 pace.
Por la calle 7, una mejor marca
Grace
personal
Van
que roza
Agnew,
bajar de los 2 minutos desde Gran
Britain.
Bretaña. Grace Van Agnew.
Made a British international debut at those European Indoor Championships, and Anita Horvat.
Medallista europea.
She's also
En
the
el Mundial de Eugene.
Slovenian 400 metres record holder. She's quick at 51:22. Now 29 years of age, Lorea Ibarzabal,
4 campeonatos de
personal
Europa y
best
2
of
mundiales, además de
1:59.60
los
last
Juegos
year in
Mundiales
Madrid.
de España y 6 veces campeona nacional.
2 times
Lorea
semi-finalist at the World
Ibarzabal.
Indoor Championships, including to run
Subcampeona de los
Back in
Juegos
March.
Mundiales Universitarios el año pasado desde Suiza.
Veronica Bancado. This is her first 800 of the year. Last year's World University Games silver medalist.
Vigente campeona nacional de Bélgica.
The Belgian Laurie Bilo, the faster of the twins, also has a sister, Marie Bilo.
Campeona del mundo de campo otra vez en Bathurst en 2023. La
Miriam
keniata
Cherop.
Miriam Cherop.
Is a World Under-20 silver medalist over 1,500 metres back in 2018.
Con una marca personal que roza bajar de los 2
The Italian Gloria Cabangu,
Cabangu.
6th in both the European Under-20 Championships in 2023 and then
Y es tercera
in the
el
European
ranking español
Under-23s
absoluto. Marquista española,
last year in Bergen.
sub-20 y
And
sub-23,
last year's
una de nuestras referencias de presente y de futuro, además de
record setter.
también absoluta. Marta
Now 20.
Vitans.
Last year in Madrid set a Spanish Under-20 record at 1:59.88. So this should be really competitive.
Atención a la salida de los 800.
Got 4 women who've run under 2 minutes.
On your marks.
The likes of Van Agnew and Cherop will be looking to break that barrier here as well. Oh, Horvat was somewhat perplexed by the gun, looking around, quickly recovered. Getting very quickly out of lane 2, it's Cabango, the 21-year-old Italian.
Ahí tenemos a Bárbara Camblor lanzando esta prueba, ejerciendo como libre, una de nuestras mejores 400istas.
Barzabal up there as well.
Como liebre de lujo de los 800 metros en categoría femenina en esta tarde.
Horvat recovering now, tucked in 5th place at the moment. Just coming through for 4th place.
Pasando por la recta principal.
Let's keep an eye on the time at the bell. It's a good pace this, set by
Ahí está
pacemaker Camblor,
Bárbara Camblor, tras ella Verónica Bancard.
61.
La Suiza en segunda posición tras la liebre que va.
So Bancado coming through. Bancado now at the front. Well, she's got a bit of daylight between her and Cabango.
Última vuelta. Ahora llega el momento
So
de
the Swiss runner, nice start to the year. Over 2 laps of the tracks. Recently set a personal best over 1,500 metres at 4:11. And so she's looking strong at the moment. Coming through Horvat. Also Ibarzabal as Cabango starts to drift back.
por detrás de Marta Michal.
But it's still Bancado at the front as they enter the home straight.
Tenerife, que se nos escuche.
Bancado now starting to pull away. And the Swiss athlete, well, put in the shade by Audrey Vero as far as Swiss 800-metre running is concerned, but she wins in a tidy 2:03.52. So not quite as quick as last year. Marlise Trapau, the Frenchwoman, running 2:00.98. Perhaps the first lap just a little bit slow for quick times, but Bancado, well, she dominated that race over the second lap. She didn't look as though that race took too much out of her. A little bit surprised not to see Horvat up there. Look at the highlights again. You can see Stoke Horvat and Van Agnews was a bit taken by surprise at the gun. Got back into their running quickly. Vancado doing well at this stage. So 250 metres to go. There's a good 3 or 4 metres between Vancado and the Italian. Just carries on striding out. I have to say, I think we're going to see more from Vancado. That did look very easy for her. It bars a bow. Taking third, just behind the young Spaniard Marta Michans. Though Horvat might have dropped out. Not quite sure what happened there. Barzabal, I think, was caught slightly by the brake. Nick Jans probably left too much for her to do over the last 150 metres. Vancado just kept striding away, just looking very comfortable, very smooth. And in the end, no real trouble for the Swiss athlete. Now confirmation. Pamiguera, 8:05, the only man over 8 metres. Peter Tarkovsky, 7:92, 2 centimetres, I should say, in arrears, was Van Conate, the Frenchman, at 7:90. That's the 1, 2, 3 from the men's long jump. And the men's discus will be getting underway very shortly. About 8 minutes to go before then. There's the women. Splendid bunch of flowers. Certainly not stinting as far as the floral arrangements concerned in Tenerife. Is finally getting there. We've got about 7 minutes before the discus gets underway, so we're just going to take a brief break from commentary for about 3 or 4 minutes, and the result from the women's 800 metres I'm sure will be on your screens very shortly.
Ahí estamos viendo Tenerife cómo le entregaban el cartel de récord canario. De nuevo un aplauso fuerte. Para el delegado. Otro de los grandes momentos que nos han destacado y todavía quedan muchísimos por delante. Bueno, pues antes de seguir con la competición y ahora que tenemos un momento, vamos a hablar con el coro plusmarquista del meeting. Qué bien suena eso. Jaime Guerra, primero enhorabuena, 8.05 en el primero, querías hacer un rápido, no sé cómo te lo has tomado, pero has sido enchufado a la pista, no se puede decir otra cosa. ¿Cómo te has encontrado?
Antes de nada me gustaría agradecer a la grada, porque la verdad que se han portado de 10, han animado muchísimo y me he sentido súper bien como casa, así que muchas gracias. Y luego pues nada, la competición muy bien, empezó muy bien. Luego ya a medida que pasan los años he ido mermando un poco porque hemos un poco de tendinitis en la rodilla y cada vez más llevado lento más.
La pantalla.
¡Mira! ¡Salimos ahora! ¡Ahora me van a ver! ¡Mira! ¡Aquí! ¡Lala!
Queda poquito de Tenerife, pero a seguir disfrutando de esta isla.
Muchísimas gracias. Adiós.
Aplauso fuerte para Jaime Guerra, que agradecía, por supuesto, el apoyo de la afición de la grada de este Centro Insular de Atletismo de Tenerife. Así que gracias a los que estáis haciendo ruido toda la tarde y lo que todavía os voy a volver a pedir hasta las 8 de esta tarde-noche, porque vosotros sois quienes creáis el ambiente para los atletas, igual que todos estos aficionados jóvenes crean ese momento especial de firma de autógrafos que, hacedme caso, genera en los atletas.
Well, we've just been watching Vanessa Vancado signing a few autographs, the women's 800 metres winner. We now carry on. The action and attention moves to the field. Just 6 men in this discus, but it includes the world leader and the second best ever discus thrower, Matt Denny of Australia. 74.78 he threw in Ramona earlier this year. That wind tunnel, we don't expect those sort of distances here. But it's great to see Denny coming to Tenerife and giving a demonstration of his art. There's Jaime Guerra as well, very popular figure. Nice to see the athletes spending time signing the autographs. A few of the athletes who've competed earlier in the younger age group races, the under 14s, under 12s, under 10s. There were races about 2 hours before we started with the main international programme going on air. Next action on the track will be in about 20 minutes with the women's and then the men's 400 metres hurdles. Got a women's 200 metres and the programme's competed by men's 200 metres and 1500 metres. So we've got about an hour's more hopefully entertaining athletics for you on this European Athletics live stream of a World Athletics Continental Tour silver meeting. There's Denny, big Australian. Marcel Sotero as well. All 6 men. I can tell you, it's a standard discus cage, but all those 6 in there and a couple of officials, it's a bit of a squeeze. I don't think I've seen that too often in the past, corralling them all into the discus cage. I'm sure that'll make an excellent photo.
Pues Tenerife, os hemos vuelto a dejar un ratito para que cojáis aliento porque
So, Diego Casas,
el momento de retener el aliento.
3-time national champion Diego Casas.
Y vamos a empezar con la presentación.
Personal best of 65.54. Came in Ramona last year. And he's been close to that this year. So he's in good shape and won the European Champions Clubs Cup for his club Playas de Castellón at the weekend. This is the European Under-20 champion from 2019. Yaciel Sotero.
Plusmarquista nacional,
It's for the Canarias club. Very familiar figure of Gunde Valor Gudnason. No less than 19 titles in the discus and a shot.
Plusmarquista nacional de Ecuador, triple campeón de su país, subcampeón.
And this is the Ecuadorian record holder, Juan José Caicedo.
Juan José Caicedo.
National record of 69.60 coming back in 2020.
Campeón nacional de Austria.
Now, Lucas Weisheidinger, national record holder for Austria with 70.68.
El austríaco Lucas
Austrian
Weisheidinger.
winning Olympic bronze in 2021. Also World Championships bronze medalist in 2019 and on a continental stage, silver medalist at the last championships in Rome.
Cuarto en los Juegos Olímpicos de Tokio y bronce.
And the Olympic bronze medalist from 2024, finishing one place behind Weisheidinger in 2021, Matt Denny. Also fourth places at the last two World Championships.
Para todos los que están ahora mismo en esa zona de lanzamientos en una pista en la que
Well, the discus
el récord de España de lanzamiento de
has been taken to new levels in the last few years. Terrifically competitive.
lanzan el artefacto estos lanzadores en el día de hoy.
Nikola Selekna setting world records in the last couple of years. And then, of course, we've got the likes of world champion Daniel Stoll, Christian Che of Slovenia, Matt Denny in there as well, and Casas as well. So Casas gets us underway. Didn't make it out of qualifying in Tokyo last September, which was a huge disappointment.
Pues ahí estaba el primer
Big championship record is a bit spotty. Didn't get out of the qualifying at the European Championships in Rome either. Was fourth at the European Throwing Cup in Nicosia earlier this year with 65.38. That's his season's best, but he's gone close to that already with 62.94. It's not a season's best.
El primer intento de Yaciel Sotero.
Yaciel Urayan Sotero, in addition to that European Under-20 title. Got bronze medals at European Under-23 Championships in both 2021 and 2023. That's around 60 metres from Sotero. Hasn't gone over 60 metres this year. Best was 59.79. And he finished second behind Casas at the Winter Throwing Championships. Spanish Winter Throwing Championships, I should say, in February. 59.85. So that is a season's best by a few centimetres for Sotero. Gudjonsson, who drops down short, the Icelandic thrower. 1.98 meters tall. Huge man, very recognisable, even amongst discus throwers. I think amongst all the discus throwers, only perhaps Christian Che is taller than him. I should say world-class discus throwers. Of course, I'm sure there's somebody else who's taller out there who throws discus. Finished 8th at the European Throwing Cup in Nicosia back in March, which you might remember. That was also on the European Athletics YouTube channel.
A ver, la medición, lanzamiento válido del ecuatoriano.
Gudniansen fouling out. Casado now. Dropping short for Casado. No, he's not happy with that. 58.35. Fifth at last year's South American Championships, which was a bit of a disappointment for him. I think he was expecting to get amongst the medals, which he did do 2 years earlier. Got a silver at the 2023 South American Championships. Whoa, it's a good start from Denny. Sorry, I should say Weisheidinger. So a great start from Weisheidinger. Well over 65 metres. Very consistent Weisheidinger. Doesn't always win too many competitions, but it's usually there or thereabouts. Now, what can Matt Denny do? This competition was won last year by Martinez Alekna, younger brother of Mikolas, with 64.67. Weisheidinger just sent his discus out to 65.96. Oh, great technician, Denny. I think it might just have sneaked into the lead. Quite high angle of release, though. But he's quick and he's strong. He's just got all the attributes to be a great discus thrower. And he's been throwing the discus so well, even from his junior days. Was the world under-18 champion back in 2013. I was fortunate enough to be in Donetsk in Ukraine and watch him win that title. World University Games champion in 2019. So, Matt Denny takes the lead with 66.04. Not much in it between him and Weisheidinger at the moment. Diego Casas, 62.94 in third place. That was a good first round. And that's over 65 metres. That's a really good throw from Casas.
Atención de nuevo a la jaula de lanzamientos. Llega el turno para el segundo intento de Yaciel Sotero. De momento es cuarto con 59.85.
Casas, 65.34, keeps him in third place though. Yaciel Sotero flies out of his arc and goes over to the right-hand side of the sector. He's not as quick as some other of the top-class discus throwers across the circle. He's strong, got good reach. Don't think that made it over 60 metres, and that's confirmed to 58.76. Foul in the first round for Gudnason. Legal throw, but it drops down around 58 metres. Almost exactly the same place as Sotero's discus fell to the ground.
56-51. El lanzamiento válido para él se coloca sexto. Será turno para el segundo intento. El ecuatoriano.
Threw over 61 metres 2 weeks ago in that German throwing mecca of Halle. 61.88 his season's best, which he threw there. So there's more to come from Goodnison. It was measured at 56.51. Casado, decent opener, just over 58 metres. Can he enter the mix with the top three? Needs to throw around 65 metres. Well, it's going to be significantly better. 63.5. Well, decent conditions there. As I said, there is a southerly breeze. Not quite sure whether that's helping the discus throwers or not. 63.58.
Turno de nuevo. En la jaula de lanzamientos. Lucas.
Doesn't look too happy with that, but it's a pretty fair effort, I have to say.
Bronce olímpico en Tokio 2020.
Now, Weiss Heidinger over 65 metres with his first throw. Not this time, though. Now I'm going to measure it, though. It'll be about 62 metres. Oh, no. Looks like he might have stepped out. So, to save them the effort. They were pretty quick to get to where it had hit the ground.
Y con 66.04 es turno para el líder provisional de la prueba, Matt Denny.
Now, Matt Denny, nice start, 66.04 for the Australian. Tall as well, 195. That's an improvement. That's a really good effort from Denny. That's around 67 metres for the Australian. He's in absolutely terrific form. Well, this is his first European outing. He had three efforts on home soil in February and March. Went to Ramona, as he's done the last couple of years, through that huge 74.04, that world lead. Finished second in the Diamond League in Shanghai, Shaojing. That's 67.54. So he's here now, European campaign. Without checking, I think the Stockholm Diamond League next week will have a discus. I'd be very surprised if it didn't, considering one of the big stars of Swedish athletics is Daniel Stuhl. So Casas just drops down at about 63.5.
Las ciclistas para empezar con la presentación.
So Matt Denny leads the way with 67.41.
Pues vamos con la presentación.
Casas.
Las tenemos ya en el centro de la pista.
63.28 for Casas.
Lucía Curvelo. Desde Ucrania, 4 veces campeona nacional, María.
So now we have the women's triple jump as well, about to get underway.
3 veces campeona nacional, subcampeona de Europa en Apeldoorn, quinta de Europa en Roma 2024. Desde Rumanía, Diana Ana María Ion.
So we just saw there Diana Ana Maria Ion, European Indoor Championship silver medalist last year in Apeldoorn, 4 times Romanian champion.
Desde Bulgaria,
Alexandra Necheva, World Under-20 champion back in 2018. And a World Indoor Championships finalist in Torun back in March.
en europeos entre pista cubierta y aire libre y sexta en el Mundial de Nanjing en 2025. Desde Eslovenia, Neja Filipic.
Cameraman hasn't moved on yet, but the infield announcers mentioned Neja Filipic.
14:43, 6 veces campeona nacional. Desde Lituania, Diana Zagainova. Plusmarquista nacional con 14-13, 14 veces campeona bajo techo en su país y 13 veces al aire libre desde Dinamarca.
There's Jana Nilsson, won last year with 14:13. That's national record last year, and
Campeona de Cuba.
personal best.
Un aplauso fuerte también a Davis Lady Velasco.
Davis Lady Velasco completes the lineup. Velasco, World Under-20 bronze medalist in 2018.
Pues ya tenemos presentado ese triple, será el siguiente concurso.
Into the 2021 Olympic Games and 2022 World Championships. As we switch back to the discus and we see Casado.
Los 400 metros vallas categoría.
That's about 63 metres for the Ecuadorian. Worth noting, Gunnarsson 61.57, an improvement from the Icelandic thrower. And this is the women's 400 metres hurdles.
Pues nos vamos a la pista, Tenerife. Al anillo de nuevo, protagonismo para ellas. Ahí tenemos
So the inside two lanes, local athletes,
la lista de salida.
Carla Hodgson and Andrea Mireles. Neither woman having broken 61 seconds. Be quite a step up for them. Victoria Thatchuk's the quickest woman in this field, but perhaps on current form, Pauline Kotchuk's might be the person to look for.
Lo que es ser campeona nacional de Finlandia.
On the outside, Finland's Christina Kallinen, 55.32.
Doble campeona nacional.
On her inside, Eileen Dems, fourth at the World Under-20 Championships a decade ago.
Plusmarquista nacional.
Victoria Thatchuk, she's the fastest woman in the field at 53.76, sixth in the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 21, silver medalist at the European Championships in Munich in 2022.
Victoria Chuk.
Pauline
Campeona de Bélgica, doble finalista
Kukiot of Belgium,
por 400 de su país.
personal best of 54.45 set last year in the Belgian capital in Brussels. She's been a semi-finalist at 2 Olympic Games, 2 World Championships and 2 European Championships. Maybe she can make the final in Birmingham.
26 viene de proclamarse campeona de Europa de clubes con el
And,
Club de Atletismo y sabe
well, if you were watching the European Champions Clubs Cup, you'd have seen Carla Garcia representing Valencia in the 400 metres hurdles and the 4x4 relay. She was 5th at this meeting in 25. Personal best
compitiendo en casa. Canarias
goes back to 2023.
en la calle 3.
And then Andrea Mireles Lopez.
Y compañera de equipo.
And on her inside, the 18-year-old Carla Hodgson.
Carla Hodgson.
It's a great experience for the two women in lanes 2 and 3. Expect a battle between Kukut in lane 5, Thatchuk in 6 and Demes in 7. Those women have all got career bets under 55. So from lane 2, from the inside, Hodgson, Lopez, Garcia, Kukut, Thatchuk, Demes, and then Hallinan.
On your mark.
7 women in the women's 400 metres hurdles. It's starting, as you can hear, to just get a little bit breezy. The wind is just picking up just ever so slightly. They're taking their time to settle into their blocks.
Set.
Well, it's Demes is out very quickly. Also out well, Cocu, the Belgian and the German in lanes 5 and 7. Garcia's ran a very quick first 200 meters as well, but it's the main three that we're looking at. Cocu, Thatchett and Demes, who are battling away at the moment. And Cocu, the Belgian, doing really well at this stage. And it's the Belgian Cocu, a long way ahead of Thatchuk and then Demes. She's hurdling very, very comfortably, very smoothly indeed. No problems with the final barrier. He's working really hard, and this is going to be very close to a personal best. Unofficially, 55.64. Just about a second outside a personal best for the Belgian. Cocu, nice run from her. Started well, but it wasn't too extravagant over the first 200 meters, but poured it wrong around the second bend and came home very strongly down the home straight. So we look at the replay. Demes started quickly as well. Garcia was up with them for the first 150 meters, but then the three main protagonists started to pull away. Looking down the home straight, Cocu by far and away the smoothest of the hurdlers. She's really working hard off that last hurdle. You can see the clock ticking away. She won't be displeased with that run. Looks like interesting overhead shot. Garcia does come through very strongly in the latter part of the race over the final 100 meters and gets third place. Thatcher, well, still starting to get into a running. Ran 55.42 in Savona last week. But, couldn't quite match that time here. So Cocu, 55.63. Thatcher, second further back, 56.69. And a good run from Carla Garcia in third. 56.82 for the Spaniard. Demes, after starting so well, drifting back. 57.82 in fourth. So the women's triple jump. Second over. So the Lithuanian European Under-23 champion back in 2019. We've got a lot of athletes here who've made their mark originally in the European Under-20 and Under-23 ranks, including this Lithuanian triple jumper. 8 times national champion in Lithuania. Zagainova has a best of 14.43, which actually dates back to 2019, the year she won that European Under-23 title. She's a pretty regular competitor around their high 13s. 12.80, Zagainova's opener. went out to 13.76 on home soil in Kaunas on the indoors. This is her first outdoor competition of the year. Good Nassun, though. He's had plenty of competitions already. So we're in the fourth round now. So this is Janne Nielsen, the Dane. Well, no doubt at all she enjoys coming here after setting a national record of 14.13 last year. 29 national titles across all events, long jump, triple jump. I think she might have even got 1 or 2 high jump titles as well. Good technique, good opener from the Dane. She's chasing 13.71, just short of that. At 13.70 from Nielsen. Ian got 13.71 early in the round as we were watching the women's 400 metres hurdles. Now it's Velasco, the Cuban. Oh! What a good jump from Velasco. Now, I think that's a new meeting record. That was just good from start to finish. Whoa. Great height, good phases. Now, Velasco hasn't been to a major international competition since she went to the 22 World Championships. But that is great form. 14.64, that's one of the best jumps of her life from Velasco. She jumped 14.85 last year. I make that the 4th best jump of her life. So there's Weisheidinger. We're in the 5th round now. Still in second, 65.96 behind Denny's second round, 67.41. So you can see Denny's card there. 2 fouls after the 67 plus throw. No real change earlier in this 5th round. Looks like a foul to me from Denny. It was also a foul from Weisheidinger. This is Barroso, local athlete. Getting a great opportunity to learn from some of the best exponents. Personal best of 12.89. 22-year-old Canarias athlete. So Barroso, 12.63. Bits of confusion over the presentation was. It's now come up that neither Necheva or Filipic from Bulgaria and Slovenia, respectively, actually started. I think they were a bit confused with the presentation, and I have to confess it threw me as well. So this is a 5-woman competition in the women's triple jump, but 7 men lining up in the men's 400 metres hurdles. And on the outside, it's Ludwig Vallant. Only sub-48 man in the field, but we've got 4 men under 49 seconds. Vallant, bronze medalist at the European Under-23 Championships back in 2017.
Desde los Estados Unidos fue quinto en los Juegos Panamericanos del año 2023. James Smith.
James Smith, Pan American Games 5th placer back in 2023. That was his best.
Plusmarquista nacional de 400 metros vallas, doble
In
campeón de España.
lane 5,
Ha representado a España en el
Canarias athlete, but the Spanish record holder,
aparte de ser bronce iberoamericano en 2022. Aplauso
David
fuerte
Delgado.
para David Delgado.
National record set in Poznan in Poland last year, made the semi-finals of the World Championships.
Por la calle 4.
Now,
Desde Gran Bretaña viene de hacer hace pocas semanas en Cardiff.
Onyeka Chukwuoka, 21 years of age. Personal best set when winning the British University Championships recently, 49.94. And on the inside,
Por la calle 2 también corriendo en casa y que se escuche.
2 of the Canarias athletes.
Alejandro Rodríguez.
Pues ya tenemos a los 400 preparados. Tenerife, por favor, silencio. Atención a la salida.
So we're supposed to have Jake Minshall, the very good Briton in lane 7. He's not there, so Ludwig Vallant is out, and he'll be running on his own for a large part of this race without any idea of what's going on around him.
No arribava, no tenia bateria. Ha deixat carregant 3 minuts i després d'aquesta carrera tindrà que... No, aquests són impertorbables.
Vallant, part of many French medal-winning 4x400-metre quartets as well.
On your marks.
So lane 2, Rodriguez Mejikas. Lane 4, Occo. Lane 5, Delgado. 6, James Smith II. And out in lane 8, possibly the race favourite, Ludwig Vallant. As they settle into their blocks.
Set.
So Vallant running very quickly. He'll have no real idea what's going on the inside. This will be a bit of a time trial for Vallant for the first 250 metres until he starts sensing what's happening with the men on his inside. At this stage, Delgado running well. Delgado's past the 2 men on his outside. Smith. Delgado's made up the stagger on Vallant, and Delgado's now pulling away. He's ran a much more measured race than Vallant. Smith starting to attack, starting to come back at Delgado, but Delgado's celebrating as he crosses the line. 49.87. A touch on the cheeky side, you'd have to say. Not quite as quick as last year when Nazir of Turkey won in 49.07. But that certainly was a crowd-pleasing win. Well, I'm not sure that'll go down too well with a couple of his fellow competitors like Smith, but nevertheless, it was a good run for Delgado. Bailon on the outside. Started well as we look at highlights of the women's 400 metres hurdles.
Pues ahí tenemos a nuestro plusmarquista nacional de 400.
Just waiting for confirmation of the time.
Ganando en Tenerife, ganando en su casa y compitiendo delante de su gente.
So this is Velasco, who's... Oh, and that's another huge jump from the Cuban.
Bueno, y atención,
Ah,
de Velasco de nuevo.
it's all falling into place for
Ha hecho 14,
Velasco.
64 nuevos récords de meeting. A ver, te voy a pedir que esperes un momento porque puede ser.
Looking to see who the
Vamos
coach
a
is.
esperar a la medición.
Just wondering whether it might well be Ivan Pedrosa.
Descansar a nuestro plusmarquista.
14.51. Good follow-up jump. The rest 80 centimetres further back.
Bueno, pues ya.
Beyond improving with her second effort a short while ago.
Bueno, hablamos el martes en la presentación que estaba convencido que íbamos a tener que volver a vernos aquí con un micro delante.
No,
Y
that's not.
bueno, lo has hecho ganando y delante de rivales de muchísimo nivel, muchísima calidad. Vaya victoria en casa.
Sí, habían ganas. Al final, gracias a toda la afición, pues se corre más. Eso es así. Y había mucha calidad, como tú dices, pero bueno, veníamos bien. Sí, es verdad que el viento ha jugado una mala pasada, pero bueno, más o menos lo hemos hecho.
Well, he was saying that there was actually a bit of wind in his face, and I suspect it was down the back straight, which is very open, and it has picked up a little bit over the course of the last half an hour, 45 minutes or so, and that's what kept his time down. And you can see there his technique was starting to look a little bit ragged over the last two barriers, but he still had enough in reserve, 10 metres to the line, to start celebrating.
Sí, totalmente. Al final, como dije el otro día, yo creo que todos los clubes lo están haciendo muy bien con la escuelita. Están trayendo a
Smith was coming back at him. So too was
de mayores.
Occo.
Pues van a seguir
Good
todo.
run from the Briton in third place. Not much international experience.
Es muy bonito de ver.
Pues,
Delgado
gracias, recupérate. Enhorabuena y un
needs
aplauso.
to tidy up his
enorme para
technique if
nuestro
he's to
plusmarquista
challenge his own national record, which came last year, though. 48.45 from about 12 months ago. This is Ion.
Pedir dorsales, pedir autógrafos, pedir fotos, esos momentos especiales para los atletas por parte del futuro de nuestro atletismo y de nuestra afición.
So we're in the third round now. Confirmation of the men's hurdles result. 49.87 for Jesus David Delgado. Just beating out James Smith the second. And Onya Chukwuoka. Loughborough student, just 21 years of age, the man in third. This is Iron, second place at the moment with 13.84 from the last round. A little bit flat during the second phase, but gets good height. Manages to recover from the step, gets a good jump. But she was over the board, so it was all in vain. A moot point, you might say. Wouldn't have been an improvement anyway. On her 13.84, she was down at around the 13.50 mark. Well, the men's discus rattled along very quickly. Matt Denny winning with 67.41. Lucas Weisheidinger just over 1.5 meters further back. Just under 1.5 meters. 65.96. So the Australian beating out the Austrian. And there's the winning effort from Matt Denny. That coming in the second round. Back with the triple jump now. So going over. So looking to try and improve on that 13.13. Down in 5th place at the moment. Certainly can do. As I say, in the recent years, she's been very consistent in the 1360s, 1370s, 1380s. Been a little while since she got over 14 meters. So 12.97. No improvement for the Lithuanian. So all that remains on the track, 2 200-meter races, women and men, and then the 1,500 meters. We've still got the triple jump going on, and this is Janne Nielsen. Among her 29 national titles was the Danish triple jump title this winter, and she jumped her best of 13.44. Had one outdoor competition so far. Went to France, went to Montreal, 13.12 there. Oh no, pulled out again. So first up, it'll be the women's 200 meters. Some quick women in this, including Nicole Caicedo. I don't think she's any relative to Juan Jose in the discus, the Ecuadorian. More of a 400-meter runner. Switch back to the triple jump. Nevis Lady Velasco.
Vaya tarde lleva la cubana.
Third attempt. Already leading with 14.64. Just so rangy. That's good jumping there from the Cuban. And another white flag.
A ver, el salto para una atleta que lleva 14.64 en la tarde de hoy, va liderando la prueba.
Excellent technique. Just drifts out a little bit to the right-hand side. Loses a few centimetres. Loses a bit of impetus. 14.52. That's a classy series at a World Athletics Continental Tour silver meeting. 14.64, 14.51 and 14.52. Don't think a coach can complain about that. At least I hope he doesn't. So over to the 200 metres start, the last women's event on the track at this second edition of the Canarias International.
Pues vamos a la presentación del 200 por la
Out on the outside in lane 8, it's the 20-year-old Inés Castellano. Personal best of 25:31.
Vigente campeona nacional
Now Nora Lindahl,
60 metros lisos, bronce europea sub.
European under-20 champion back in 2023, hails from Finland.
También corriendo en casa.
Lucía Carrillo,
Español,
fourth at the World Under-20 Championships in 2021.
siendo
Has a best of 22:80.
y también lo ha sido absoluta, bronce en el 4% de los World Relays en
Hey.
Barcelona, entre otros muchos logros. La burgalesa Lucía Carrillo.
Sure she'll have friends and family in the audience. Nicole Casedo,
Nacional de 400 metros lisos, integrante del 4% y 4x400, 7 veces campeón.
Casedo,
Y 7 veces
22:69.
en campeonatos sudamericanos.
That's the Ecuadorian national record, which she set at altitude in Quito last month.
Fue campeona de Europa sub-20 y sub-23 del relevo 4% y es bronce.
Alea Simmons, 23-year-old
World Relays de Bahamas en 2024.
British international, is part of the British team at the European Team Championships and was on international duty at the World Relays in Gaborone
Por la calle 3,
last month.
corriendo en
Fortunately,
casa.
part of the
Olga
British
Gutiérrez.
4x100 metre team that got disqualified there. Then three local athletes looking for personal bests.
Corriendo en casa.
Olga Gutierrez in lane 3. Carla Martin in lane 2. And Lucia Morera.
En casa, que se escuche Tenerife. Lucía Morera.
Some of these women have broken 25 seconds, so probably not going to be challenging the women on their outside.
Presentado el 200.
Nevertheless, a wonderful opportunity for personal bests for the local athletes, not least of which Olga Gutierrez, just 17 years of age, in lane 3. Keep an eye on lane 5, Nicole Casedo, 22:69. That national record only last month, albeit at altitude in Quito. But she's running quickly, there's no doubt about that. Worth remembering as well, Casedo, better known as a 400-metre runner as well. So, Pan Am Games silver medalist over one lap of the track back in 2023. So they settle into their blocks. From the inside, Morera, Martin, Gutierrez, Sibbons, Casedo, Carrillo, Lindahl and Castellano on the outside.
Set.
Well, all eyes are on Casedo, but it's actually Lindahl who's made the quickest of the start over the first 50 metres, and she's motoring. She's going to come into the home straight with a slight advantage, but now Casedo starting to press, but Lindahl getting the legs working, those long legs eating up the track, and she's starting to pull away from the Ecuadorian. It's a win for Lindahl, unofficially 23:05. Well, that slightly upset the form book. On her inside, Carrillo and Casedo might also have fancied their chances, but in fact the verdict goes with a really good gun-to-tape effort. Nora Lindahl of Finland, former European Under-20 champion. Last year in Bergen took the bronze at the European Under-23 Championships, and she's taken a win here in Tenerife. Casedo? Well, let's put it down to a bit of jet lag. She's sort of pointing at her ear. I'm wondering whether she had difficulty hearing the start. Decent run from Casedo. And certainly it was a good run over the last half of the race from the Ecuadorian. She made a lot of ground. But Lindahl was unstoppable in lane 7. Sibbons coming through for third place behind Lindahl and Casedo. Lindahl really determined. Casedo gritting her teeth. She knows she's got ground to make up, and she does a little bit. But it's too much, and the verdict goes to the Finn. Running from the Finn. And I'm sure we'll see her again in action at the European Championships coming up in Birmingham. Putting together the sort of performances that will get her qualified. So Lindahl, 0.9 meters per second following wind, and the time revised down to 23:03. Casado, a little bit back in second place, 23:41. At this point, Casado's almost getting up on her shoulder, and then Lindahl starts to move away over the final 40 meters or so. So, Saganova. In the fourth round now. Lithuania not a happy person. It's not coming together for Saganova. 13:08. Saganova's best still 13:13 from the second round. And if you're enjoying this live stream, also worth mentioning, we've got a few other events coming up later on in the week. We've got the Trondheim Games from Bergen, another World Athletics Continental Tour silver meeting. That's streamed on the European Athletics website from 19:05 Central European time tomorrow. And then at the weekend, we've got the European Small States Championships coming to you from Monaco on Saturday. Now, the penultimate event on the track, though, here tonight in Tenerife, the men's 200 metres. So we saw him earlier. This is his first outdoor meeting of the year, Kobe Hilton. Personal best of 20:56. He's better known as a 60-metre and 100-metre runner. Oscar Grava, 2 times national champion for Lithuania, semi-finalist at the last European Championships.
Por la calle 6 plus marquista nacional de 60 metros.
Semyon Burnett
154%.
finished second in the 100 a little bit earlier. Has a personal best of 20:30. That's in South Africa a couple of years ago.
En el campeonato del mundo en el 4%. Desde Países Bajos, Taimir Burnett.
Burnett did well in the 100.
Plus marquista nacional de 200.
Now, Cuban national record back in 2023, 1963. Hasn't been quite in that form in recent times. Renier Mena, the Canadian Brendan Rodney. A gold medalist at the Olympic Games in the Canadian 4x100 metres team at the Olympic Games in Tokyo 5 years ago. He also took gold in the Canadian 4x100s in the 2022 World Championships. And he's inside. The Hungarian, Patrick Bunshu. And then 2 local athletes, Juan Jose de la Rosa, better known as a 400-metre man, 46:32 his last race, sharpening up over 200 metres, and on his inside, the 21-year-old Guillermo Rodriguez. Personal best of 21.76. So two Canarias athletes, Rodriguez de la Rosa, haven't broken 21.5 seconds, so good experience for them.
On your marks.
Well, Burnett looked sharp in the 100 earlier. Don't know quite what Mena's going to bring to the table here. He was second in Savannah this time last week in 2035. Back in 2013, Mena, World Under-18 medalist, got bronze in both the 100 and 200 metres. So from the inside, Rodriguez, De La Rosa, Bunshu, Rodney, Mena, Burnett, Grava and Hilton. And it's Grava who's away quickly, and also Burnett. Burnett having a really good bend. He's being chased by Mena. And now Mena starting to edge into the lead. Grava, though, having a great run, the Latvian, but now it's Mena going through the gears and the Cuban pulling away. But plaudits to the Latvian in second. I'm just wondering whether that might even be a Latvian record. Mena, though, undisputed winner, 2070. No, just a bit shy of the Latvian record of Oskars Grava. But a good second place for the Latvian, behind a man who recently ran 2035. 1963 is a legit mark, but Chaux de Fonds, just below altitude, tends to be a place you want to go when you want to run fast times. So, Jenna Nielsen, fourth round effort. Second place with 13.70. Not a bad effort, just bearing in mind that she's only once been over 14 metres, and that was here last year. Look at that again. Grava, good start. Mena had to work hard to close him down. Mena 2 lanes to his inside. But then, with about 60, 70 metres go, Mena showed his class, went through the gears and pulled away. As I say, good run from the Latvian. That would be very encouraging for him. Burnett, possibly a little bit tired from his outing in the 100 metres, which was a good run in the shorter sprint a little bit earlier. Rodney. Well, Rodney got up for third. This is the first 200 metres of his year. Although he was with the Canadian team in Gaborone at the World Relays. We'll be focusing on the Commonwealth Games later on in the year, I'm sure. Mena. So, good win for the Cuban. Mena gets the flowers, the big bunch. And he gets congratulations from Kobe Hilton, the American. 2071 for Mena, Grava 2095, Burnett just outside 21 seconds, 2109, just shading Rodney by 100th. Entertaining race, that. .1 metres per second, but I think it might have well be gusting a little bit around the far bend, the first 100 metres. Mena enjoying himself. See quite a lot of the Colombian on the European circuit. So we're in the 5th round now. Barroso, local athlete, and in 6th place with 12.63.
El salto es válido, es sexta con 12.63.
Long way behind the board, Barroso. Personal best of 12.89. So she's not that far away from it. Second jump in this competition at 12.63. Second over. Determined effort for her.
La lituana es quinta con 13-13. Quinto intento para ella.
Probably leave the triple jump to focus on the 1500 metres in a moment, but let's see whether we can get in Zaganova's fifth round jump. Well, we've lost a couple of athletes. As I say, we were hoping to see Mariano Garcia, who's been very much the poster boy of this event. And he had to scratch owing to a calf injury. On the inside, Javier Miron, semi-finalist at the European Indoor Championships in 2023. Mehmet Selik, winner of the European Champions Clubs Cup in Castellón at the weekend. Good tactical win there. Samuel Charig, first race of 2026, third in the World University Games last year. Dnipro Nikhailchuk, 3:39 man at his best, ran 3:41 last week in Nerja, also in Spain. Said Elder, 27 years of age, the Belgian. 3:40.40 in Brussels on Sunday, so in reasonable shape. Karim Fartaz, just 18 years of age, wearing the famous Barcelona strip. He's improved indoors. Ibrahim Eata, Galatasaray athlete, part of the famous Turkish sports club. So you've got Barcelona versus Galatasaray. That'd be a good football match, but it's Fartaz and Eata in lanes 9 and 10, and Lopez on the outside. Very useful pacemaker. Did the pacemaking duties last year when Mariana Garcia went in 3:37.21. Be interesting to see what sort of pace. With Garcia in the field, we were expecting her, I think, about 3:35. Might not be quite that. 3:35 will be a 43 first 300. It is Lopez who's gone 40. It'll speed up, of course, over the last lap. So Selleck starting to drift back now. So 1:47 unofficially through 700 metres. This is pretty sedentary. He's now going to turn really, I think, into a tactical race. Probably not too many personal bests are going to be set here. Miron's up there. Distinctive hairstyle, not difficult to spot. Miron, 3:34 man at best. Selleck just drifting back. Britain Chadig is the man following Numa Lopez as the pacemaker drifts out. So they're coming round to hear the bell. 2:46. It's sadly quite slow, but it is going to be an interesting race over this last lap. So Shadig in the lead, the tall Briton. Now coming around Selleck. Selleck, well, it showed what he can do in slower paced tactical races at the weekend at the European Champions Clubs Cup, and now he's starting to pull away using exactly the same burst of energy and burst of speed. He's a really good 800-metre runner. Selleck, 3:35 man. Well, it's going to be about 3:45 the finishing time, the way things are going. But Selleck pulling away. Well, 3:43.60. So no improvement on last year's performance, which is the meeting record by Mariano Garcia, 3:37.21. But Mehmet Selleck takes his second win over 1,500 metres in the matter of 4 days. A good run for 24-year-old Turk. Shows he's got a good turn of speed. So the women's triple jump now in the final round. Saganova. Well, she was re-overtaken by Saini. We saw her jumping, then switched to 1,500 metres. And Saini then went out to 13:45. So perhaps not the best of competitions for the former European under-20 champion. Diana Zaganova didn't really get much more than a toe on the board there. 12.97. Finishes with a best of 13.39. And a bow to the crowd. Well, a lot of the crowd here have stayed to support the triple jumpers. The very last action in the Santa Cruz Stadium. Just 4 more jumpers to come. So, haven't seen much of Maria Sine, the Ukrainian. Opened with 13.29, 3 fouls. 13.45 in the last round for Sine. Three times national triple jump champion. 14.12 at best from 2023. And that'll be a foul. Yes, very quickly raising the red flag there. We were commenting during the men's long jump. There was a lot of very, very marginal fouls. Fouls nevertheless, but only 1 or 2 millimetres in a few cases. But there is no dispute about that one. No need to look at the monitor. So we now know who the top 3 in the women's triple jump is. Ordered still to be decided. Although it would take anybody to overtake Davis Lady Velasco. Here's the good work done by Numa. Can't really complain about the pacemaker. Nobody was really wanting to go with him. They could have easily have told him to quicken it up. Went through the first lap in just over 60 seconds, which was probably about 2 seconds slower than perhaps would have been originally wanted if Garcia was in the race. And then Selick off the last bend, arms pumping like an 800-metre runner. And indeed, he is a very good 800-metre runner. Last year's bronze medalist at the World University Games. He's got a decent 1500-metre time to his credit, 3:35. But in any tactical race, you'd fancy his chances, wouldn't you? Just wondering whether he'll get a place in a really quick 1500 metres in, say, the Diamond League, or maybe a World Athletics Continental Tour gold meeting, to perhaps lop a few seconds off that personal best over 1500 metres. Now 25 years of age, the Turk. As did a good stint for his club. Second over 800 metres as well. And got Enker onto the podium. Just lost out by a point, I think it was, from Players de Castillon. So just the last few jumps in the triple jump. Hannah Nelson has just jumped 13:40, the Dane. So no change in third place. So it looks like the last two jumpers have decided to pass their attempts. Diana Maria Ion finishes in second place with her second round 13:84. And Davis Lady dominated this competition from the outset with her opening jump of 14:64 to win by 80 centimetres. World-class jumping from Velasco. A big meeting record from her. Only woman over 14 metres, and she did it with her first three jumps. 14:64 the winner, followed by 14:51 and 14:52. Well, as we see, congratulations from the other athletes to Davis Ladies Velasco. It's time for us to say good night, and we hope you enjoyed the European Athletics live stream of the Canarias International meeting. See you again soon on the European Athletics digital channels for more World Athletics Continental Tour, Silver, Bronze and Challenger meetings.
Muy buenas tardes y gracias por asistir.